Hey guys, I'm Yams from PC Flipping Central, and I wanted to show off this little PC flip that I recently built because I'm very proud of it and I think it's one of the best value gaming computers that I've ever put together. I think there's a little bit of a stigma around PC flipping where people think that us flippers get really old parts, throw them together, and then we create a bad value gaming PC with aging parts. Think about those gaming PCs that you see on eBay with the 2nd gen i5s and GTX 650s. This computer that I built today, however, proves that wrong. Using a Ryzen 5000 series CPU and a GPU from NVIDIA's RTX 4000 series, I did all of this for less than $650. Let's get into the parts list and their cost. First up is the CPU. I bought this AMD Ryzen 7 5700X for only $100 from r/hardware swap. The seller had listed this for $110 including shipping, and I was able to swoop in super fast, putting down an offer of $100 flat. Luckily, they accepted, and this is a really awesome deal. The 5700X is 2 generations old now, but the 5000 series from AMD was absolutely killer. And this 5700X is a beast not only in gaming, but also workstation tasks since it's rocking 8 cores and 16 threads. For the motherboard in this build, I was able to snag this Asus Prime B550 Plus ACHES for $70. I got this from our PC Flipping Central Discord server actually, from someone that we've known for a bit. I'm very glad I was able to get this because I was having a hard time finding a motherboard for this build. I love the black and white look of this, and I also love that it's a full-size ATX board, since the case I got is a full-size ATX chassis. It also has Wi-Fi built in, so I don't need to spend any extra for a Wi-Fi card. To pair with this combo, I bought this 32GB kit of Oloy white DDR4 RAM for just $40. I got this from someone in our Discord server as well, in a combo deal with some other parts. This is 3200 MHz CL18, so nothing too crazy, but I wanted to do 32GB of RAM for this build since it seems like people are wanting more than the 16GB of RAM in their builds. From this same guy on our Discord server, I also bought some black and white Fantex cable extensions for $8. I think that's a great price to pay to spice up this build a little bit. For storage, I have this 2TB SATA M.2 drive that I got from Amazon for $56.10. Storage was a tough pick for this build because I could have either done this SSD or a 1TB Gen 3 NVMe drive. If I would have gone with an NVMe SSD, the speeds would have been a lot faster, but at the sacrifice of 1 extra terabyte of storage. I personally think that most people won't really be able to tell the difference between the speeds of a SATA SSD and an NVMe SSD in most games, and I think showing 2 terabytes of storage will make this computer sell better. What do you guys think I should have done? Was the 2TB SATA drive a good option, or should I have opted for the faster NVMe SSD? Let me know in the comments. Powering the system is a high-power 750W 80+ gold rated power supply. I got a pack of 10 of these from a seller on Mercari a while back, and the total came out to $35.98 per unit. That's a spectacular deal for some high-quality power supplies. 750 watts is obviously over the top for this build, but it's what I had on hand and it's a great deal, so why not? This whole build is going to be housed in the GameMax Aero Black steel case. I got this for only $49.86 from Newegg, which is a really nice deal for a full-size ATX case that has 3 included true ARGB fans. It even has an ARGB hub in the rear of the case. And these fans are controlled by an included remote, which is really nice. I love how this case looks with the black base and white accents. Also, yes, those are 200mm fans in the front, which is pretty cool to see. For the CPU cooler, I decided to get an AIO, and I settled on this Sama SL240 AIO from Newegg, just because it was the cheapest one available. I got it for $42.68, which is a bit more than I'd like to spend on a cooler, but buyers love to hear that gaming PCs are water cooled, so I went for it. I've never used a Sama brand water cooler before, so I'm a little skeptical, but the pictures of it look cool, so we're gonna see how it turns out. And finally, for the grand finale, the graphics card I went for in this computer is a Gigabyte WindForce OC Edition RTX 4060. I've been really wanting to do an RTX 4000 series computer flip since I've only done one build with the RTX 4000 series. Buyers seem to gravitate towards NVIDIA's newest stuff, and the 60 series from them continually tops the Steam hardware survey charts. I think just having this RTX 4060 in the build will lead to a quicker sale. I got this for $230 from r/hardware swap, which isn't a half bad deal for current gen hardware. But how about I get this computer built and show you guys the finished product. I love how this computer turned out. I think the giant 200mm fans in the front of the case give this a lot of personality and vibrant colors. And the water block on the AIO pops so much, since it's literally just this giant circle of RGB lighting. Here's how the prices added up. My total build cost was $637.21. I believe that I can sell this computer for $800 to $900 based on sold listings I've seen on Jawa. I'm going to list it at $900 on Jawa and $850 locally. If I sell it at asking, that will lead to roughly $170 to $200 in profit. I think these starting prices are a little high, and I'm honestly expecting to sell it more around $800 to $850, but either way, I'm getting over $100 of profit easily. That's nothing crazy, but over $100 is still good money, especially doing something that I love to do. I'm going to run a couple synthetic benchmarks on this build to see how it performs, and I'll show you guys how it compares to some other similar builds I've done in the past. In Cinebench R23 for the multi-core score, we got 12,768, and then for the single core, we got 1,537. This is quite similar to my Cinebench R23 score that I got from an Intel Core i7 11700K, which I thought was surprising. Here's some comparisons on these scores compared to other similar CPUs. The only real full system benchmark I did for this computer was Unigen Superposition, where we got a score of 5,664. I don't have any benchmarks for super similar builds, but here's some charts to show how this compares to some other builds that I've done in the past. If you guys were curious about how the SSD ran as well, here is a screenshot of the Crystal Disk Mark benchmark. Overall, I am super happy with how this build turned out. Not only is it a really great gaming PC for the price, but it also looks amazing and runs extremely cool and quiet. If you're wanting to do a PC flip in this mid-range scope, then doing something similar to this computer would be a great option. If you want updates on this build and are curious about how long it takes to sell, feel free to join our Discord server with the link in the description. I'm very active in there and I love to hear from you guys. Tell me your thoughts about this video in the comments, and of course subscribe if you're into content related to PC flipping. Thanks so much for watching, especially if you made it all the way to the end of this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.